So back in 2021, I realized that I was spending way too much time consuming content and almost spending no time creating any content or just being creative at all. I quit social media for a while and started making things again, and it pulled me out a little bit of a funk, and I felt really great. Ever since then, I've tried to keep that balance fairly even, but lately I've felt myself kind of slipping back into old habits. So this month, I'm doing something about it. I'm starting a challenge for myself that relates directly to the philosophy of the channel's name, Creation Over Consumption Project. So there's two parts to this. First part is I'm only going to be watching small YouTube creators. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's usually a lot of big channels, million subscriber channels. So there's people with massive audiences, sponsors, and a lifestyle that is far from real life. So nothing wrong with them, but I want to see what happens when I change who I let influence me in that way. So for the entire month of December, it's November 28th today. I'm going to start today though. I'm only watching small creators. These are channels with under 10,000-ish subscribers or videos under 2,000 views. This might change a bit depending on how hard it is to find things to watch. But basically just watching creators that feel like peers. People who make things because they want to, not because they're trapped in algorithm expectations or they do it for their job. So I want to feel like I'm buying local instead of shopping at the big box stores of the internet with my attention. So I hope this shift kind of inspires me in a different way and maybe resets my relationship with content and will get me out of this funk a little bit. The second piece to this is something that I've wanted to add for probably a decade, but just never has been able to stick with it, and that's a daily meditation practice. So nothing fancy, I think just 5 minutes a day, at least to start. I could use any app, any breathing tool I like and can stick with. Like my Fitbit has, there's that breathing exercise on it, so that's one place I could absolutely start. The goal is to have one moment every day where I'm not consuming and not distracting myself, and I'm just actually present. So I fully believe all of the benefits of meditation, both psychological and physical, so it's about time I put those beliefs into actual practice. So why I'm doing this is that I hope with these two practices together, consuming intentionally and connecting inward with myself, it'll give my brain a little bit of a reset. I want to change the habit of just reaching for content whenever I'm bored, restless, or need distraction, and hopefully I can replace it with something either quieter and reflective or creative and expressive. So, for the month of December, I want to document my thoughts, feelings, and reflections, hoping to capture shifts in my perspectives of media and in the ways I spend my time. So I want this to feel like a real look at what happens with someone who genuinely tries to change their relationship with consumption and take control of their creation over consumption ratio. Just finished day one's meditation or mindfulness practice. Did 6 minutes with the Fitbit, just matching breathing patterns, and feels pretty good. It's quite calm. Feel good now. Definitely was distracted by the cats having their own little WrestleMania going on, but that's okay. Also noticed that I don't have the attentiveness yet to be perfectly present, so just gonna take some time. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully, I can keep building onto these skills and really be mindful and present in the next month. So we're about halfway through this challenge, or 20 days in, I guess. It's December 17th. So I just want to do a quick little check-in and see how I'm doing. So I just have some notes on my phone here I'm kind of going to go over. Kitten, hello. Yeah, so right off the bat, I noticed that supporting small creators feels really good. Just, like you're buying local. It's really nice. Kitten's rubbing the camera, but it reminds me of the early YouTube days where everyone was just like a bunch of kids with cameras and just filming whatever they wanted. That's the type of quality before businesses really took over. People are just making videos because they want to make videos, and it's really cool to see. I'm noticing that silence with myself is becoming easier or even preferable. Sometimes just instead of like searching for content, it's easier just to be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and not do this, or instead of watching a video, I'm just gonna do the chores for the sake of doing the chores. I don't need to like double up productivity for everything, right? I can definitely tell that there's a big shift towards intentional viewing I'm always asking, like, if I am scrolling YouTube, I'm asking, like, is what I'm watching going to be good for me? Or if I look at a thumbnail, I'd be like, if I watch that, I wouldn't make me feel good. So I'm starting to notice that that's definitely improved. And yeah, that answer comes really quickly. I'm like, oh, yeah, nope, don't need to watch that. And then, yeah, after a little bit of scrolling, I just close the app. I'm like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to serve me. This isn't something that really need to watch right now. So, um, meditation has been a little bit harder than expected, I guess. There was a little bit of resistance at first, but I just didn't want to do it. But I quickly got over that. I have noticed that my mind does wander. I like to have two or three thoughts going on at the same time. So I'm trying to count my breath. Um, but then there's also something that's kind of pulling me away somewhere else. So that's been a bit of a struggle. But yeah, I went from 5 minutes because it seemed too short to up to 10 minutes, so doing at least 10 minutes every day. Uh, there's been a few days where I've got into that state of mind where I'm like, okay, I'm only focusing on my breath. So that is, I know it's there, and I am kind of a beginner at meditation, so obviously it's going to take a little bit of time. Um, but yeah, so yeah, biggest benefits, or the biggest things that I'm noticing is that this kind of realization and these doing these new things, they take time. And so like meditation is going to take time, and it makes sense to me why people quit right away, or like, oh, this isn't benefiting me, it's just annoying and I'm just annoyed at myself or whatever, this isn't worth it. But it does take time to do this stuff. Or it also takes a little bit of time to rewire those pathways of consuming content. And I feel like after 14 days I was there, I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel like I don't need to watch things anymore. Yeah, so I just feel like boredom is kind of peaceful, and peace of mind is definitely improved. And I look forward to keep doing this for another few days and through the holidays, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I'm definitely consuming less, and yeah, it's just easier to not want to be bombarded by whatever noise. So, and I definitely still feel like a beginner, especially when it comes to meditation. So I'm excited to keep doing that, and hopefully I can experience some more benefits that people talk about from doing it for a long period of time. So, yeah, we'll see you again in a few weeks. Final reflection time. It's the end, just past 30 days, onto a little bit after. I just wanted to go through my notes that I have and talk about what the experience has meant to me. So it started as an experiment in supporting small creators, and kind of changing my attention became something a little bit deeper, I would say. A definite reduction in mental noise, growing comfort with silence and boredom, and a definite slow reclaiming of my attention. Biggest takeaways was this wasn't small creators versus big creators. It was more or less learning that less stimulation creates more peace. And just took a little bit of discomfort and resistance to get through that, and I am where I'm at now. So obviously it just saw the update halfway through, but immediately felt good supporting small creators, just a bunch of kids with cameras. Searching for content was quite difficult, felt like work to find these things. Day 5, I added meditation because I figured they would go well together. And so that was met with a little bit of resistance to get started, but I did it enough that it felt like, oh, I need to keep doing this. After at day 8 to 10, that mindfulness started to become a bit more active. I could feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting a little bit of benefit from this meditation, although it's not quite, that super focused mental, thing that you get all these benefits from meditation from. Yeah, I started noticing that I didn't want to consume that inflammatory content anymore. And then day 15, 2 weeks in, triggering content no longer pulled me in. I was like, nope, again, didn't want to do it. More or less like, who cares? Not for me. I know that that's not going to serve me well. And then that mental noise became, quieter, and I felt a lot more calm. Day 20, I had my first kind of successful meditation, you can call it, where I was really focusing only on my breath, and that was just really heightened me. I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. There's nothing else to think about, and I was super present. So that was really cool that this is working. I'm making progress, although it's not, it took a few weeks, and that's totally fine. And then there's that realization that like boring is kind of peaceful, and like quiet really does feel like home. Yeah, it took a while for that to show up, but it did. It is way better to just be able to sit with yourself, as opposed to thinking, like, oh, I need to listen to something, I need to have some sort of sound, or that, desire to be double productive and always listening to things when you're doing something. And after 3 weeks, I decided to apply those same constraints to music. So like as far as the small creators, so I was like, oh, let's go through all my like songs and see who's under 10,000 monthly listeners or something. And again, that felt good supporting small artists. 3 weeks in, meditation was still difficult, but my commitment was pretty strong. I did post my kind of intro video and realized that people are really do seem to resonate with this creation over consumption idea of trying to consume less. So that was really motivating for me to see that other people like this idea as well. So after about 30 days, maybe it was about 3 weeks in the meditation, I decided to drop the function on my watch and just set a timer for 15 minutes and kind of not be structured by like 4 seconds out, inhale, 4 seconds out, exhale. And I felt like that suits me way better. I do have some resistance to guided meditations. I don't know, I just don't like being told what to do. And I feel like it seemed to work for me so much better. So that is kind of what I'm going to keep doing moving forward. I just felt like that desire to meditate improved after I was doing that and noticed a bit more benefits. So, and then thinking about after the 30 days, there were some holidays. So that's where, going out and visiting family and there's some chill time. It was a little bit harder to stay away from social media just because you're fatigued, you're so peopled out. It's easy you're not in your routine, right? You're at someone else's house and it's easy just to open up the phone and try and scroll. And a couple times I pulled out a couple reels or Facebook or YouTube shorts and watched a couple and I was like, nope, this isn't for me. So definitely I was required that discipline, but I feel like it held pretty well. The meditation did slip a little bit. It's hard to find time in someone else's house to kind of leave and isolate yourself for a little bit, but still got some days that I was able to do that anyway. And then as soon as I came back home after the holidays and I got into meditation again, I felt like my mind was just racing, like I just could not calm it. So it is interesting that I did notice that I was able to, or that, my mind was busy and I noticed that awareness that it's like, okay, it's been a crazy few days. I do need to sit down and calm and and do this again. And this meditation is helping me do that. And after a couple days, again, I got back to that baseline and felt pretty good and, reestablished my baseline level of calm. So, final reflection, life felt way more peaceful without those large creators. Maybe just necessarily some of the more inflammatory content, but definitely way more peaceful. I definitely missed a few of the creators that I do like. All my subscriptions, I like watching biking and action sports and a few other people for sure. So I definitely missed actually just seeing them because they are popular and famous and they're able to do cool things. But I definitely trust myself more to choose my content intentionally. So my goal moving forward is to protect this piece and not to avoid content entirely, but just really try and intentionally choose content that I know is going to either make me feel better or entertain me for a bit or, just maintain this level of peace and calm that I feel. So meditation might not be every day, might be schedule dependent, but it's something I definitely want to continue to build those skills and get really good at. And it does feel good. You come out of that session, you're like, okay, we're good, nice and calm, and you're like, you're protecting your peace. That's what I have learned in this time. So, not anti-content, pro-peace. That was something I wrote down. Biggest changes, just to summarize: reduce mental noise, less emotional reactivity to more or less anything, but specifically content. Drastic improvement in my comfort with silence. Healthier relationship with boredom. And then a meditation habit that feels self-owned. So I actually started it. So what didn't change fully, meditation didn't become easy. It wasn't just something that you just sit there and then my focus is super intentional and I'm so zenned out. This is a skill you have to learn, and I'm definitely a beginner. The attention still wanders. But the benefits were subtle, not dramatic, wasn't magic, but I want to keep going until hopefully maybe it'll get to that point, maybe it won't, but it's something I want to keep going and keep doing. So what surprised me most wasn't how little I watched, it was more about how quieter things became, right? That piece is something that I really want to protect now. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. If this is of interest to you, I highly recommend trying something like this, or like limiting your consumption, limiting your, whether it's large creators or just cutting off your YouTube, cutting off your Instagram, something like that. Yeah, it was a very overall productive and positive month, so I'll probably keep doing challenges like this in the future, so stay tuned if that interests you, and feel free to give it a try. But for now, protect your peace. See you in the next one.